Record to the call or to the cloud. Let's get it. Let's get it. So I know there's some people on this call that are ready to change your life, right? And here's what I'll tell you. And I've said this before. There's the day you're born, the day you die, and then the day that you change your life forever. And you're one decision away, one contact away, one meeting away from literally shifting your life to a completely different place. And I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people also don't think they're worth it. And I'm here to tell you that I'm living proof that you are worth it and that you can win here and that you can achieve your wildest dreams. It's happening to me right now in motion. And so I'd like to say that. And I like to point that out because I know how many years I went in this industry every single day, driving from meeting to meeting, coffee shop to Panera Breads to McDonald's 24/7, 3 a.m. doing an appointment, whatever I had to do, wherever I had to go, random living rooms, basements, just craziest places, interesting, awkward scenarios, situations. Because when I first got started, we didn't even have Zoom. It was literally everything was in person. And I remember wondering, is this ever going to actually work for me? My mentality was it has to work and there's no other option. And I don't have a plan B because I hated jobs so much. There was nothing else I would rather do than build this business because I loved everything about it. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. And like I say on the calls all the time, I wasn't wishing it was easy. I just want it to be worth it. I want this to pay off. And it eventually paid off for me. And I'm going to share some things with you guys that I've found out and that I've learned over the years of being in this industry that I absolutely love about this industry. Now, is there things that I don't like? Sometimes it can be a pain in the ass. It's not easy. That's okay. That's business. That's life. I mean, take any business owner. They're going to tell you, most of you on here listen to personal development like crazy, I'm sure. And all of them, from Ed Mylett to Patrick Bet-David to anybody you can think of, they've been through the ringer. That's how this works. And so if there's one thing that I don't like about it, it's going through the ringer, which is going to happen from time to time. But here's what I learned now, being at where I'm at now. It's prepared me for the person that I am. It's whoever fails the most wins. And I just failed over and over and over. And I love what Ed Mylett says. He built his initial wealth before he started investing like crazy and really compounding his wealth. He built his wealth from this industry right here. He just sold a different product. And he literally says, to this day, being worth just under $1 billion, living the dopest life ever, he's like, I still have those same insecurities. Like, am I worth it? Am I going to be able to win? Am I great? And I'm like, it must not totally go away, because I've always had those thoughts. I'm like, I know I'm all in. I'm hungry. I'm driven. I'm destined for greatness. I'm so happy and grateful. And even though I believe, and even though I say these affirmations, you still never know if it's going to work for you until it actually does. And so I just remember so many days just thinking, dude, are my efforts going to pay off? I'm watering the seeds, but nothing's growing. And that's why we talk a lot about the bamboo tree in this industry. And I'll just give you a little rough recap of the bamboo tree. It's a guy who plants a seed and he's watering the seed and he's watering the seed, and month after month is going by, year after year is going by. But you just have to be diligent. You have to be consistent and keep watering the seed, because it's like after 3 years, it starts to sprout. And when it sprouts, it goes like, I don't even know, 100 feet in 6 weeks or something. And that's kind of how this business works. Is I busted my butt for 7 years. And I'm not saying your story is going to be my story. I know a lot of people say, oh, Chairman 100, top earner, whatever. It took me 7 years to break $250,000 for the year. 7. And I just stayed the course. Okay. I was still making money before that, but it just wasn't $250,000 and above. But I just remember thinking, my story's the bamboo tree, because it was literally like an overnight success. It was that 9-month period from Chairman 10 to Chairman 100 that changed my life forever. And so I just know from the bottom of my heart, if you're hungry enough, if you have the desire, if you're willing, if you're teachable and coachable, and you keep pushing, it's only a matter of time before your time comes, before you once you become that overnight success. And so I obviously you guys saw in the caption, I wanted to talk about why I love network marketing. And I just wrote down 8 reasons why I love network marketing. And before I do, I'll just say this: 77% of Americans struggle financially. 77%, over half the people struggle financially. It's probably more than that. The average American has less than $865 saved. Okay. 1 out of 10 Americans are financially free. That means 9 out of 10 people are living check to check and on credit cards. And here's what changed my life. I stopped listening to people that didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted. So when we were taught, go to school, get good grades, get that job, and work that job for the rest of your life, how's that working for most people? Sure, it might be good for some people, even if you're making a decent income, though. Do you want to sit in traffic every day? Do you want to spend time away from your kids from 9 to 5, get home at 6, eat dinner, put your kids to bed, and ship them off to daycare the next morning again, and do that cycle over and over and over? I played these things out in my head, and I'm like, that's not what I want for my life. I want freedom to be able to wake up every single day right now, not when I'm 65, right now, and do whatever I want. Okay. And so what I love about this industry is, number one, you can work from anywhere. You can work from anywhere you want. People are literally like, dude, where are you living now? I'm like, well, I'm in Scottsdale. Someone just asked me the other day, dude, how's Miami? And I said, what do you mean, how's Miami? And they're like, aren't you living in Miami? I said, no, sir, I haven't lived there in 3.5 years. And I said, I lived in Miami, and then I moved to California into this house. And then I moved to Scottsdale, and then I moved back here to California while we're, getting the lake home ready up in Minnesota. That's my point. You can do this thing from anywhere. So they always told me, figure out what you want your life to look like and then reverse engineer it. So I'm always thinking, dude, I want a lake home in Minnesota. I want to be close to family. My parents and Britt's parents, they're not getting any younger. We have kids that the grandparents want to see the kids, and I want to be able to spend some time up there. So that's why we're doing that. But then for, half the year, we want to get out of there because it's freezing. It's gray. It's small town, small mines. I love it for a portion of the year with the family and whatever. But other than that, I want to be here in Dana Point, and Laguna Beach, and Scottsdale, in the places that are buzzing, that are popping, that I can jet out to and fly some leaders out to. And so you can work from anywhere. You got Richard on the call, who's from Canada. He's lived in Costa Rica. He's lived in Panama. He's lived in Colombia. He spends a decent amount of time out in New Zealand. Literally, once you get this thing going, you can be anywhere you want to be. Okay, you don't have to be stuck in traffic going to a job that you don't like, working for other people that you don't like. It's just, and so when I started seeing some of the possibilities of this industry, I got super excited. So number one, you can work from anywhere. Number two, you can create your own schedule. And I think that's what people want, is they want to be able to create their own schedule and have that work-life integration, right? I always thought that too. It's like when I have kids, I thought, I want to build a life around my lifestyle and around my family, not have to build a lifestyle around, okay, I work in this city, so we just got to be here. And then, maybe we can go to Cancun twice a year or something like that. No, I wanted to be able to create my own schedule. Talking to Noah, he used to sell BMWs, and now him waking up every single morning, he's not even close to the income he was making as one of the top sales guys at BMW. But if you talk to him about his lifestyle right now, he goes, I wouldn't trade it for the world. He's like, I get to wake up, literally do whatever I want every single day. And I actually love doing this. So he goes to the gym, kind of similar to me. You wake up, I hang out with my family for a little bit. I take my pre-workout, I cruise to the gym, hang out there for as long as I want to, come back home, talk to people, talk to my leaders, reach out to people, the thrill of the hunt. I love this. I love what we do. And so you get to create your own schedule every single day. Number three, it's not the price of a traditional business. A lot of people want to be a business owner, but a lot of businesses cost $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, right? If you're a traditional business owner, or of a traditional business owner, what's your monthly overhead? What's their monthly overhead? Right? Some businesses, it's $40,000 a month that they have to bring in business just to break even and just to get to zero before they even start to profit. Here, which blows my mind, a lot of people that we show don't have $275. That's the craziest thing ever. But that's right there is why I tell them, yeah, that's why I'm showing you this. You don't have $275 and we live in the wealthiest land. Like, what are we talking about here? Let's go find it. And so a traditional business, it can cost hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And now if you're buying a franchise, you're talking signing crazy documents, giving a great amount of profit away back to the franchise, right? And so there's just so many benefits here being a network marketer. Number 4, you never need to worry about employees. You don't need to worry about payroll. You don't need to worry about billing. You don't need to worry about marketing. The company does it all. Chris Terry stood up on stage and he said, you would not want this life that I have. He goes, I'm doing this for the people. This has been something that's been on my heart for years. I wanted to be able to give people a platform. And yeah, it's probably super gratifying seeing all these people walk up on stage talking about how he changed their life. But at the same time, we're not the one that has to deal with hiring and firing employees, finding people to market, dealing with any lawsuits that come your way. If you're a business owner in any industry, they're coming and you got to deal with all of that and clean up the mess. Number 5, tax benefits. Dude, here's one of the best things ever is the tax benefits. And when I first got started in this industry, at every presentation I went to, my mentor, David Peach, number 4 income earner of my previous company, would have this book. And the book was on tax laws. And chapter 1 was why you would be brain dead if you don't start a home-based business. And it breaks down exactly why paying a couple $100 to get started is literally saving you thousands of dollars a year just in taxes alone. Like if you get on these presentations, I'm like, some people don't see the vision of what we're doing. It's like, bro, you would literally save money on your taxes. That vacation you want to go on with your family, you could write that off on your taxes. Like, and I'm not an accountant, so obviously talk to your accountant about this, but I've learned a decent amount in 12 years of doing my taxes of what a lot of the benefits are. And if you're a W-2 employee, you're the lowest paid and you're the highest taxed, and you don't get tax benefits, right? They just take the money out of your check and you don't get to say anything about it. Exactly. You can write off a $6,000 vehicle, right? Wrote it off. I told my accountant, I'm like, hey, I'm going to buy this Range Rover. I didn't even, and this was 2021. And she's like, is it over 6,000 pounds? And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it is. And she's like, perfect. You can take depreciation on your vehicle and write the whole thing off. And I'm like, that's crazy. Okay. So you're a vehicle you can write off. Part of your rent, if you're renting, you can write part of your rent off. You can write the lake home up in Minnesota. And I know John Oliver could come on here and say a lot about this stuff because he's a traditional business owner as well as owns a business with I Am Mastery Academy, but interest only or interest on my mortgage up in Minnesota. That's deductible, right? Traveling with my family. I'm getting pictures. I'm getting marketing. Write it off. Food, whatever. And so I'm just like, this is crazy. When you're a business owner, there's so many tax benefits that make it worth it. And so in the industry of network marketing, you pay $275. You can quickly profit if you're willing to go out there and show the plan. But then the profit that you make, you can pretty much, my first 3 years, I deducted it all. So I just claimed a loss in my first 3 years in the industry. And sometimes people will be like, dude, I'm kind of nervous about taxes this year. And it's their first year. I'm like, well, how much did you make? And they're like, dude, 20 G's. And I'm like, okay, well, you went to Budapest, you went to Croatia, you're paying for your subscription. That's a write-off. Your phone bill's a write-off. Did you go to any meetings? How much mileage, track your mileage. Okay. Because that's deductible as well. And so there's so many benefits just by being a business owner, which you probably already know, but maybe you don't know the depths of it because it gets even crazier. Like if I break down how I'm buying this lake home in Minnesota, that was my whole thing, is like, I've seen so many people finally make it in the industry, but they blew all the money. So when the momentum kind of came to a halt, they were standing there getting caught with their pants down because they didn't save any money or invest any of it. And so for me, I'm thinking any depreciating asset I want to buy, or anything that depreciates, I'm going to invest all the money first. And then the money that I make from my investments, I'll buy the toys, right? And Grant Cardone and all the experts talk about that. And so this lake home, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could put this money in stocks, but that's not very cool. I have money in index funds and stuff like that, but I'm going to hustle, build up some cash, a stockpile of cash, keep my credit right. And then boom, got a loan for 1.5. I'm having Britt's dad and brother, who's a builder, build the house. I'm going to build this lake home. It's going to be the dopest, most modern, rustic thing ever. And I'm going to part-time Airbnb it. So if I buy a vehicle up there, it's a write-off. If I buy flights to get up there, I'm writing it off. Furniture, writing it off. Hot tub, gym, pool table, ping pong table, TVs, Wi-Fi, everything. Writing it all off. Pontoon, I'll rent it out part-time. I'm going to write that off too. And then on top of that, if you know anything about cost segregation or depreciation on properties, there's going to be anywhere from a $200,000 to $400,000 deductible off of my network marketing income. So when you really lay it out, it's free. I will get paid to build this house because I didn't talk about the cash flow that this is going to bring in or the appreciation of the property. I'm literally just talking about, I'm going to put a down payment on this crib, get it built, and I'm going to write off the whole thing and then cash flow it. And then you know what you do next? You could do a cash out refi and then build another one or buy another one and then depreciate that, cost segregation study on that. And you keep rolling it into it, playing Monopoly. And so this is where it starts though, because if I was working a job, lowest paid, highest taxed, how do you really get into that game? I don't know. And that's just a slow way to do it. And so for me, I wanted to speed it up. And here you can be your own boss. You can choose your own hours. You can work from anywhere you want. You have that work-life integration. You can travel. I mean, it's dope. First class to Qatar to build with the team. Okay. And then Egypt. And then we go to Budapest or wherever it was, Croatia, staying in dope hotels, and it's tax benefits on that. So pickleball. Yeah, that's cool. Number 6, training and mentorship. Obviously, this industry is heavy on personal growth, right? All the events, all these calls. I mean, if it wasn't for this industry, I remember the very first audio that I listened to, he told me about The Millionaire Next Door, that book. He talked about the cash flow quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like all these things we were never taught in school about making money. And I've been listening to this billionaire on YouTube. Seems like a pretty cool guy, real, authentic. He doesn't seem like he has anything to sell. And I like that. And I'm listening to him and he talks about how to create wealth and different habits that billionaires have and all these different things. And one thing he was talking about that he loves to break down is the cash flow quadrant. And I'm like, dude, I learned that when I was 22. Right? I learned that when I was 22. You want to find a way to leverage people or leverage your money to make you more money, period. If you're on the other side of the quadrant where you're trading your time for dollars, you only can get so far when you're working by yourself for yourself, like by yourself, and you're punching the clock and you're heavily taxed. So here it's all about leverage. That's what this company is all about. And we talk about that all the time. And that's why, we do these calls. There might be a couple of you on here that get off this and say, dude, you know what? I want to take this thing serious. So training and mentorship. I mean, the guy that I first met that showed me this industry was making $150,000 a month, right? Where would I ever find that? Find mentorship from someone like that other than this industry where they're literally going to take me under their wing, teach me, show me, help me, hold my hand the entire way. I was an idiot kid at 22 years old. He gave me his password to his back office, the number 4 income earner. It was Cowboys 18. And I would just look at it. And I'm like, dude, this is insane. 10 years of roughly 100 to 150,000 a month. And this guy's just blowing up my line. I see him at the gym every single day. He's calling me saying, dude, we need to get you to 25,000 a month. We need to get you to 25,000 a month. So not only are we getting personal developed and learning from people that have what we want, but they have a vested interest to reach down and do whatever it takes to make sure we're successful. Right. And that's one thing I talked about at the Arizona convention is you got to deserve the mentorship's time. And I didn't know how that all worked when I first got started. He just told me to do 3 to 5 presentations every single day. Okay. If I sign someone up and I tell them to do that and they're actually doing it, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure they have success. I will fight for them. You know what I mean? Like, again, like Noah, when he first got started, I said, all right, he's doing 3 to 5 presentations a day. He's putting people in with or without me. I'm going to move there and let's take this thing to the next level. Okay. And so the training and mentorship, and me and AJ talked about this before too. It's like, take anyone from any other industry, whether they're selling insurance, whether they're selling cars, it doesn't matter what they're selling, put them in network marketing. They will struggle. They will have to learn the ropes just like they did there. But you take a network marketer, a seasoned network marketer, which a lot of you are on that tipping point of being seasoned. You guys understand how to prospect, present, promote, doing personal growth, right? You know how this stuff works. And we could all admit, type a fire emoji in the chat if you could go to any other industry and go rip that, because that's how this works. Take a network marketer and put them in any other industry, you will become the top of that industry. The reason I love this is because it creates the dopest lifestyle, because it has, which is number 7, residual income. And once you really get the taste of full-time residual income, I'm talking 25,000 a month plus, you'll never want to make money any other way unless it's through investments. Residual income is a beautiful thing, right? I've been able to take some time to chill with my family, hang out, and the checks just keep coming in. It's been 12 years straight of residual passive income. Super dope. And then number 8 is lifestyle. There's top earners that I know that I'm friends with all over the world, in Europe, in Dubai, in South America, here in the United States. The lifestyle is, we even compare it to basketball players, NBA or the MLB. I mean, NBA players, yes, some of their contracts are crazy. Maybe like a couple of them on each team. But then they got to live out of hotels for 9 months out of the year. And they're W-2. So they're getting that check chopped before they even see it. And they talk about these things. And they don't get to see their family a whole lot during season. And I'm like, I literally work and live and be wherever I want, and we do whatever we want. And it's just the dopest thing in the world. I mean, you got Richard out there chilling out in sea pods, like these condos out in the middle of the ocean. It's like you can do this from wherever. And so I just think the lifestyle here is second to none. I don't really think you can beat it, but it takes time, effort, and energy. And that's why when I got on this call, there might be a couple people on here that are hungry and that want to take their life to the next level. And I'm just telling you, it's worth it if you stay the course. And I don't know if any of you guys saw that podcast with Ed Mylett and Dean Graziosi, but I talked about this last night on the call a little bit. Basically, Ed Mylett was saying, and Dean was saying the same thing. And these guys are worth, I mean, they've been in this industry of entrepreneurship and network marketing and affiliate marketing and in sales and writing books, talking about their journey and success for years, for a combined 60 years. And what they were talking about a lot on that podcast was you need to add a digital income source to your life in 2024. And that's going to be the game changer. 77% of Americans are struggling, are underwater, and a second job is not going to cut it. And that's why so many people flock to this industry. Digital education is doing $1 billion a day. $1 billion a day. It's one of the fastest growing industries in the world. And then Ed Mylett said in the next 10 years, he's quoted where it's from. I don't know I don't remember what he said, but he said in the next 10 years, 50% of people are going to be self-employed, and 80% of those people that are self-employed are going to have a digitally based business. And I'm thinking, that's what we do. That's what we sell. And Chris Terry, Alex Morton, we were talking to them today. They're talking about some of the things that are coming in the future, and they're constantly innovating. And I'm like, it doesn't get much easier. Here's Richard and Noah and Andrew met my brother, but this is my brother's van. He builds these camper vans here in California. He's built over 100 of these vans, and he's like, bro, come work with me. And I'm like, he's like, dude, I'll split it with you. We'll just go build vans and travel. And I'm like, dude, if I've never saw network marketing, I'd be open if there's a demand for it. I love being my own boss. My brother's my best friend. And I'm like, here's the deal. This is where I make my money. I hang out with my family every day. If I go build vans, I have to go do an hour driving like you do every day. I have to spend time. He has a daughter. He has a 5-year-old daughter, and she does the daycare thing. She does the school thing. We want to homeschool our kids. We want to be able to do whatever we want. We don't want to. I don't want to have to be locked down to a physical location. And you guys are learning all of that right now. And Ed Mylett talks about how that is just going to become better and better and better and more popular, and more people will flock to this company right here. And I know is there anyone on this call that has been in a company that sells physical products, nutrition, makeup? Because, we used to call them garage qualified. They would get so many boxes that they couldn't even, they're like, we got to start stuffing this out in the garage. And then they'd have to some companies, they'd go to the malls and set up kiosks and different things like that. Here, we just sell a website. And that's what it was in my previous company too. I literally don't have to do anything. It's all right here from the palm of my hand. And it's so crazy to me. The realtor for this house brought over his assistant the other day. They were showing the house. We're just renting it short term right now. And he was telling her, he's like, you got to follow him on Instagram. He's out in where are you? You're out in the Middle East, speaking on these stages, getting these guys fired up. He's like, what the heck is it you're doing? Like, dude, I work from right here. I run an international business from the palm of my hand, and it blows my mind. It's crazy to me. Like, I solve issues in other countries from right here. It's the best industry in the world. It really is. And I believe that this is an amazing industry that can take someone with drive, ambition, hunger to create and design whatever lifestyle you want. I really mean that. And could I say the same thing about this business? Dude, I'm so proud of him for how far he's come with this. And the profit margins are amazing. And he loves what he does. He started the business by building out a van for himself. And then he realized, dude, I'm going to post this on Craigslist and see if anyone else in California would want a van. And then his inbox was filled, and he has more than enough business to handle, to keep him busy. But I'm like, is that the lifestyle that I would really want? No, this is the lifestyle where I can build residual income. All we do is talk about dreams, goals, where we're going, personal development, turning people into high-speed ninjas. And you can live a life of design. And if you can think about it in your mind, you can have it in real life. And that's never been more true in my life, because, we hear it, and I heard it all through this industry for 10, 11 years. And I always wondered, right? Is this ever going to work? Is this ever going to work? I'm going to think big. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to take action. I'm going to follow the system. I'm going to edify my upline. I'm going to do all these things. And as I'm looking at the pictures of the houses I want to live in, as I'm looking at the cars that I want to drive, and then I'm going to the open houses, when we're in Scottsdale, we'd hit the houses on the weekends, go to the open houses, and you'd smell the houses. And I would literally visualize, the 30-foot pocket doors opening up to the outdoor resort. And I just picture where my kids would be playing and running, and the window that pops open from the kitchen out to the outdoors. And I just would think about these, and I'd manifest it so clear. And this lake home is one of those things. that I've been manifesting. I mean, if you look back at my Pinterest, my saved on Instagram, the folders I have on this computer from houses that I have saved years ago, it's literally all coming together up north. And the next is going to be the Scottsdale Resort, right? And so, not like a literal resort. I just call them resorts because you get like a 2-acre yard and you fill it with pickleball courts, basketball courts, pools, hot tubs, casita, game room. It's just the dopest houses. And this industry, although it can be an absolute pain in the ass, 9 times out of 10, you just need to be right that 1 out of 10 time. You know, Noah, he was saying something the other day. I can't remember exactly how it went. He would probably say it a lot better than me, but he was listening to Alex Hermosi, and he was just basically talking about you just have to, put the pressure on, take massive action, and just when the industry isn't popping at that specific moment, stay the course. I've been here before. We're kind of in a mundane area in the industry, but I'm telling you, I always wondered before, is it going to ever come back? We'd have this crazy momentum for a couple months out of the year, and then it would die off for like 10 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, is it ever going to come back? And then boom, it comes back again. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then it slows down again. And then boom, it comes back again. And I remember thinking so many times, is it ever going to come back? Like, it has to. This is how I eat. It has to come back. I have to force it back. And it always came back. And I'm telling you, I think over the next 12 to 24 months, and Eric Worre talks a lot about this, the industry is going to go crazy. I really believe that. I really do. And that's one of the reasons I'm all in on this company and on this industry, because we sell something that, if I look at the landscape of the industry, I love what we sell. I mean, here in the US, Forex and trading kind of died down a little bit. But when I look at the people on my teams in Peru and Argentina and the Middle East, I'm close with a lot of people in Qatar and Egypt and even Saudi Arabia. We even have a couple people in Iraq, as crazy as that is. They love trading. They absolutely love it. So trading, and now travel. And I know a lot of enhancements are coming with travel. And that's my favorite product in the world. And that's what I sold for my first 6 years in this industry. All it was travel. And so for me, it was every month we would take, every week out of the month, we would take a major vacation somewhere. We'd either be in Cancun, or we'd be in Thailand, or we'd be in Dominican Republic. That was kind of my goal for a couple of years straight. It was like every month I want to take a vacation somewhere for, 5 to 7 days. And guess what? Those were write-offs. I went and bought some new camera gear. I bought the drones. I got the whole setup, wrote it all off, brand new laptops, wrote it off with the tax benefits. And so we've always said the more money or the more fun you have, the more money you're going to make. And so in this industry, if I can just promote travel and travel the world and just post that on my stories and on my feed, it's like, who doesn't want that lifestyle? And you can earn residual income while you're doing it and get amazing tax benefits and raise your kids in this community. Being able to have my kids on stage in Arizona a couple months ago was a dream of mine. I watched the guys that came before me, the top earners, bring their kids up on stage when, they hit a big rank and the fireworks were going off, or, someone had a keynote and they brought their kids up on stage. It was something I always wanted to do. And to have my kids be able to come into this environment, it's dope. When I have people come down here, like when I have Noah and Andrew come down here, and if my parents were here, they're not coming down here to party and do stupid stuff. When my parents meet the people that I work with, they're like, you guys are freaking dialed to win. Like, the people that we hang out with here are just the dopest. And that's why I say it on the calls a lot too, is you guys changed my life, because you are who you hang out with. And we hang out with people that just are chasing the best version of themselves while we're creating the dopest lifestyle that we possibly can, plugged into a community and a company that's worth promoting. And so I love what we do. I love this industry. And even though it can come with, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of times it feels like more downs than ups, because you're working so hard and you're such little paid for, an extended period of time. But they kept telling me, Joey, the flip will happen. Every ounce of effort that you put out into this industry will pay you tenfold. The flip happens. And I'm like, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to, you got to kind of be delusional in your mind that it's going to happen. It happened for you. Why not me? And then boom, the flip happened. And there's points of my career where I can look at where I didn't have any duplication. I had a little bit when I first started, and then it kind of died off. And then I remember when I was in San Francisco for a regional training event for my previous company, I had a buddy on my team back in Minnesota. And I'm like, when I leave Minnesota, I might be screwed for a week because my paycheck was very important. My weekly bonuses were very important to keep me alive. And so I had to keep my foot on the gas the whole time. It was very little residuals in my old company. That's what I love here. It's 99% residuals. Well, when I left, it was the first time I was able to feel what it was like to hit what we used to call a triple cycle, which is if you triple cycle, everything doubles for the week and it's a $600 week. And I didn't do anything that week. It was my boy, Nate Nelson, back at home, grinding like crazy. And I'm like, dude, this industry is so dope. So there was a sliver of a flip, but then I kept pushing and kept pushing. And then, my time eventually came where it was straight up bananas. And I want to create that again. And I'm here to fight to do whatever it takes to make sure you can all have that same exact feeling. Okay. So you guys can do what you want to do every single day with the people that you love and care about. So there's a beach, right? I could throw a rock to the beach. It's a really dope beach, but the Air Force is always flying around over there from San Clemente, and they're always just practicing. So they're always doing crazy turns and flips and whatever they got going on. But so it can get loud once in a while. But yeah, we got game 6. Anyone watching game 6 here? We got game 6, the Timberwolves. I'm a Minnesota guy, so it's crazy that they're even this far and it's not looking good, 70-40 in the half. But I just wanted to hop on here real quick and say that next week we have the best of the best, the guy I learned from, one of the godfathers of this industry. We got Mark Accetta getting on the call, and I'm telling you, we need to pack this call out for him. He's gonna crush it. He's one of the guys. I mean, you know him. If you were in Budapest, you saw him. He did an amazing training there, but him being in this company, we tried to get him here multiple times. And the fact that we have him here with this company it's just more solidification in my mind that we're on the right track and we're with the right company, because he was the guy that all the top earners in my previous company that did $1 billion looked up to. And Mark Accetta was the one to really put the infrastructure in place to allow that to happen with the training system that they have and that he created. And so with that being said, I'm going to go eat some dinner. I'm going to go spend some time with the family, watch the rest of this game. I hope you guys got some value out of this call. I know I'm kind of all over the place. I literally just was taking notes 20 minutes before this call about why I love this industry. And, like I said, you can work from anywhere. You can create your own schedule, the tax benefits, passive residual income, the training and mentorship that turns you into a high-speed ninja for any area of life. If I want to go start a business right now, Richard was down here. We were talking to my brother, and my brother was pushing Richard, bro, let's go build this van business. And we look at each other like, we could launch that business into the stratosphere. But this is what we want to launch into the stratosphere. Nothing else. But you turn into a high-speed ninja in this industry. That's what I believe. That's what I've seen. That's what I feel. And I love it to death. It's given me and my family the dopest lifestyle possible. And so I'm so happy and grateful now that every single person on this call is a brand new chairman, walking across that stage, sharing your story in front of your friends, in front of your family, in front of your team, giving all the credit back to your team for helping you get there. But you being able to have that financial peace to be able to do whatever you want with your loved ones and with your team, and be able to provide and help people in need and whatever you want to do with it. So I'm excited for the future of this company. I'm excited for what we have going on here, and for you guys for being on this call. You're the core of what we have here, especially in North America for the most part. And so let's take this thing to the next level. I'll see you on the next Builder Series call next week. And let's take this thing to the top, guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Peace. Let's get it.